All right, so this time around, I want to talk about demonstrated function. Last time I had a video discussing demonstrated function, but more in line with how it kind of plays with SE types and using just SE in either leading or demonstrated. But this time I want to make it more just general to everybody. So how does this work? All right, so the functions that you're going to be best at, all right, are going to be your leading function and your demonstrated function. Okay, it's four-dimensional, it's called, which you see here. Leading function, you see it 4D, and then down here, demonstrative 4D. Okay, that means that these two are two very strong functions that you have. You're good at whatever element is in these particular areas. Okay, so let's just take like an ESE and ESFJ type. You're gonna have FE leading. They're going to be very good at FE. They're going to value it. They really care about it because it's their leading function. Everything about them is that FE, that influence and impact on people and their mood and making people feel good, all that stuff, right? Right. But they also going to have a demonstrated function, which for them would be SE. Okay. So in their particular case, this demonstrated function is going to show up. You're going to see them being usually pretty um, active people, a lot of energy, a lot of moving around, a lot of running to get things done and accomplish that they want to get done. Occasionally being a bit forceful, kind of pushing people a bit in order to create the good feel environment that they like here for FE. All right. So you'll notice that at times it could be a little pushy, very energetic, running around all over the place and all that kind of stuff. Right. But here's the big kicker. Demonstrative function is not valued. Okay. The individual does not like that very much. So while an ESE, for example, uses their SE to push people around and constantly be on the move, it's not something that they really care for. They don't really like to be seen that way or described that way. They care about the good vibes that they're creating for people, which is the FE and then the creative SI. That's what they really care about. All right, good vibes, good energy, getting people going, and so on. It just so happens that they need a little bit of SE to kind of push people or get things moving in the direction that they want to create those good vibes, so on. Okay, so that's an example of kind of how it would work out, like in an ESE. We can see this in other types as well. Let's throw an SLE in there. And let's not do an SLE. We already did that in another video. How about LIE? All right, an ENTJ type. So we might have TE, right? That's what they really care about, how things work, what's the data, what's the facts, show me that it works, all that kind of stuff. That's TE they have going on, right? And then as a demonstrative function, they'll have NE. Okay, so that's the ability to kind of see other possibilities, other ways of looking at something. How else can we look at the data and look at what we're analyzing or looking at the moment? So how else can we interpret all that kind of stuff? But they don't value that because ultimately they want to do TE and NI, which would be their creative. So they want to use the data to figure out, or I should say, use their NI to help analyze that data and figure out what matters most. What data should I be paying attention to? Where is it going to go? What's important out of that data, right? The NE is just helping them to kind of look around at other ways of interpreting it, making sure they've seen different angles and possibilities before kind of getting to this. All right. So let's move this around here. So anyway, important stuff. Okay. Because the NE, let's say again, we're talking ENTJ, LIE, because you're noticing that they're going to have good TE and they have a lot of NE kind of going around, they seem to be pretty good at it. They might appear a little bit like an ILE, an ENTP, right? Because you say ENTP, ILE, oh, they have good NE. Well, here's a person with pretty good NE, so maybe they're an ILE. No, they might just be an ENTJ, LIE, that happens to be demonstrating some good NE, but they don't really value it. What they value mostly is figuring out what matters most, where are things going, and what should I focus on. Okay. That's what they're really more interested in. All right. That's example again, LIE. I mentioned ESE as well. Okay. So hopefully that kind of like, uh, paints a picture of how this works. Okay. Leading function, it's going to be consistent. It's always there. Everything seems to revolve around it. It just never seems to kind of go away. Everything is kind of working in favor of that dominant function. So it's single-handedly the most important function you've got, right? But demonstrative, again, you should notice that individual has a good demonstrative function going on, something in there that they're pretty good at. They show it, you can see it pretty easily, but ultimately they don't really care about it. They don't value it. They don't want to use it. They don't want to talk about it, I should say. Um, it can be sometimes rather difficult to differentiate when you're looking at somebody between what's more demonstrative and what's the leading function. This is where typing celebrities, typing movie characters, whatever, can sometimes get tricky. All right, and debates can break out. This is kind of best figured out when you're typing someone, like you're actually talking to them directly, asking questions, listening to their statements, listening to where they're going with things, and then you can kind of figure out which is the thing they're valuing more and always consistent, and then what's the thing that is just kind of popping up here and there, right? Um, you can kind of figure it out sometimes too if you're dealing with celebrities and so on, but at the end of the day, it's basically going to be your best guess. Okay, this is very important for those coming from like MBTI or some other system. Something that really differentiates MBTI and Socionics is this use of demonstrative function, that you can be very good at something, but you don't value it. That's a big difference. Okay. MBTI tends to focus on things just being like four functions that you're using, and that's it. And then like the other four, they kind of like ignore, like they just don't exist or whatever. Socionics says, no, no, no. You're playing with all eight of them, and you're going to have four of them that you care about, you value them. That doesn't mean you're good at it. It just means you value it. It's important to you. And then you're going to have other four that you don't really care about. You don't really value that much. Again, you could still be good at it. In the same way that somebody could be good at something random, but they just don't care. Maybe I'm really great at beer pong, but who cares, right? I don't really care that I'm good at that. Okay. But I'm good at it for whatever reason. Okay. So very, very important thing. Value things and things you don't really value. Okay. Here, just last minute, this is the basic model. Here's kind of another way that it's shown, the writing in there, basically saying a lot of what I just said, and some more stuff to help you kind of fill it in. Now, what's helpful is this zigzag-like pattern that you'll notice. Okay, and it says so kind of here with the bold and the cautious functions. Bold functions 1, 3, 6, and 8. So bold 1, 3, 6, 8. So zigzag from here to roll to mobilizing, demonstrative. All right, they're bold, meaning they stand out. You can see them when you're looking at somebody, when you're typing somebody, when that person's interaction. These elements in these particular spots stand out. Okay. The other zigzag, 2, 4, 5, and then 7 are cautious functions. They're a little bit harder to see. You kind of have to pay more closer attention to them or ask questions to see those. Okay. Again, bold ones, leading, demonstrative. Should be very, very bold going on there. Right. So hopefully that helps out a little bit with this whole demonstrative function and where it all fits in this socionics world. Let me know as always. Leave your comments. Uh, give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And of course, leave your comments, leave your thoughts. Let me know if it helped you. Let me know if there's something else you want me to talk about, so forth. I always love getting involved with people and chatting, so on. I think dialogue is really the best way forward with all of this. So I can't encourage you enough. Leave your comments, leave your thoughts.